What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday and welcome to this week's live stream. We're going to change it up a bit this week. And what I want to do is I want to share with you a video that um, it's actually another live, it's an old live stream. Basically, it's a recorded live stream that I shared with my other group last year. But I thought it's something. Um, I think it's powerful, and I wanted to kind of share this with you guys this week. So, hope you guys like it, enjoy, and here's the video. Hello, and welcome to this week's live stream where we're going to talk about what it means to be limitless. So, most people, when they think about being limitless, they think of it as a superpower. Well, it is a superpower, but it's not exclusive to superheroes. We even us as a regular people can be limitless. So let's talk about what it means. Um, but before we dive in, I want to share you a little story. Um, a couple of days ago, a friend sent me this motivational video, and in the video was talking about this bottled water, um, and that bottled water costs 25 cents if you buy it in bulk at Costco. Now the same bottled water costs 50%, or if not 50%, 50 cents if you buy it at the supermarket. And also the same bottled water will cost $2 if you bought it at a fast food place. Now, if you go to a restaurant or a hotel, you may be charged $3 for it. And if you're at the airport, forget about it, you're probably going to be charged around $5. So the bottle and the brand is the same. The only thing that changed is the venue or the place where people buy that bottled water, right? So each place gives the same exact bottled water a different value. So the point of the video was, if you don't think that you're worth more than what you currently charge for the service that you provide people, all you got to do is change places to where people will pay the value that you deserve, and don't settle for less than what you're worth. I thought that was an interesting video, and it actually reminded me of a conversation I had with a plumber, okay? With a plumber a little over 2 years ago. So he was complaining about making little money while already working 10 days or 10-hour days and most weekends, right? And then he resigned to the fact that he's reached his ceiling in terms of his revenue, and that he won't be able to make more because he was just a plumber. Okay. And this is one of the false beliefs that people have that gets me fired up. So I asked him, what kind of plumbing issues do you fix? And he thought about it and said, "Oh yeah, I fix faucet leaks, clogged drains, leaky pipes, low water pressure, and water heater problems, amongst other things." Right? And then I asked him, out of all these problems, which one is considered the most urgent, and what would be the consequence if it doesn't get fixed right away? So he thought about it for a minute and said that, oh, it's the leaking pipes inside the walls, because if it doesn't get fixed right away, the studs inside the wall or the ceiling or the floor can rot, and they'll spend a lot of money tearing it down and rebuilding it. Or the moisture of the leak could turn into mold and cause health issues for those living in the house. So then I asked him, out of all these plumbing problems, which ones pay more? And he said, oh, the leaking pipes, obviously, because it takes a lot more work. So I asked him, what if all you did was fix leaky pipes, right? Would it change your monthly revenue? And he said, yes, he will definitely make more money by doing just that. The only problem is finding the customers who only have leaking problems is more difficult, right? And I said, yeah, it'll be more difficult, but it's not impossible. Additionally, it's also possible to charge more for that service if you can adjust your schedule to take rush or emergency calls, right? And of course, if I had leaking pipes in my walls, that would be considered an emergency and you can command a higher rate. So that simple conversation triggered an epiphany in him and made him realize that a shift in mindset could potentially increase his revenue. He doesn't have to learn new plumbing skills or buy new plumbing equipment. With just a simple mindset shift, he just increased his potential revenue, right? So his language changed from saying, I couldn't make more money to I could definitely make more money just by shifting his mindset. So you see, if you feel that you've hit your revenue ceiling, take a step back. Okay? Take a step back and look at the big picture to see the blind spots in your business. If you think if you think you're just a plumber fixing pipes, we need to change that mindset because it, it, it doesn't matter what you do for people. So instead of telling yourself, I'm just a plumber, you can say, I'm a plumber that changed lives. Okay? So now you might ask, how does a plumber change lives? It doesn't fit. Okay. Well, let's look at a scenario. If someone doesn't have hot water and they're stressing out because they have a very important meeting they have to attend to, and you show up and you save the day, are you just a plumber? Because if that meeting that they were now able to attend changed the trajectory of their future, you just indirectly changed their life. So ask yourself again, are you still just a plumber? Or another scenario, if someone is getting sick because of the mold they have in their house because of an unknown pipe leak, and you are able to fix it and get rid of that mold, and now they wake up each morning without headaches. They wake up each morning and they can breathe properly. Are you still just a plumber? The answer is no. You are not just a plumber. You have skills that can potentially change your clients' lives. So you may not be curing cancer, but if your clients' lives are now better because or a little better, even just a little bit better than compared to last week because of the service that you provided, you have a life-changing business. It might be hard to wrap your head around it, but like I said, take a step back and look at what you do for people. Because sometimes we focus solely on the technical aspects of our service, right? And we often forget that what we do ultimately affects our clients' lives. So I encourage you to take a step back, okay, and look at the services you offer and really think about how they affect your clients on a deep personal level. How does it affect their health? How does it affect their wealth? How does it affect their relationships? Because there you can correlate what you do or the results that you provide to those three things, right? Their health, their wealth, and their relationships. So, this exercise will help you develop a mindset that will shatter your limitations. It will change how you think, and it'll change how you approach your marketing in your business. And this is what I mean by being limitless. Okay, just because you're hitting a limit right now in terms of revenue, it doesn't mean that you can't shatter it. All it takes is a shift in mindset, a different perspective, and maybe a guidance from someone. So today's message, today's live stream is designed to give you a different perspective in terms of your ability to be limitless. Because to be limitless, there is a balance between our ability, right? Our ability means what we're capable of, and our humility, right? How we see ourselves. So let me explain. Humility is a good thing. Okay, humility is always a good thing, but too much humility gives us a very low view of our abilities. Someone that may be too humble, right, will tell themselves, "Oh, I can't do that. I'm just a plumber," right? So this level of humility gives us a limiting belief that would instantly stop us on our tracks. Now, on the other hand, ability is a good thing too, right? But ability without humility becomes arrogance. So the key is recognizing our abilities, but also having a healthy amount of humility, and finding that sweet spot, right? We got to find that sweet spot, knowing what we're capable of, but not letting that get in our heads. Um, Humility also allows us to have a mindset of a servant. Being a service based business, we are servants because we are serving the people around us. That's our purpose, right? To serve the people around us and to do that in the highest capacity, in the highest frequency possible. What I'm going to share you today is I've never done this before, but I'm going to share with you a worksheet. Okay. Normally, these worksheets are for people in my private coaching group, and inside the group we actually go much more deeper. We actually analyze it more. We hash it out. But today I simplified it, and I'm going to share this with this community, with the future proofing community, because I feel that it's important for everyone to learn about this, right? So I'm going to go over the worksheet, and I'll give you access to it at the end of this live stream. Okay. So again, this exercise is designed to expose the bleeding neck problem that you solve as a business. So once that's identified, what it does, it gives you an idea on how to change your perspective and ultimately your marketing approach. Okay. So this is again, I'm going to share this with you. This is a Google sheet. Once you get the link, you can just make a copy and save it to your own Google Drive. So let's go over it. So this is we got 13 questions in this worksheet, and I've put some examples here. All you got to do is just change it with yours, whatever applies to you. So the first question is, list all the different problems that you fixed, and you have to be detailed. All right. So I used the plumber, since that's what we're already talking about. I used the plumber example. So in this case, water heater problems, clogged drains, and leaky pipes. And then once don't limit it to 3. You can put as many as you want, right? Excuse me. Now, out of all those problems, which one is considered the most urgent, right? Which is the most urgent problem? In that case, the story is the leaky pipes. Now, out of that, what are the grave, severe consequences if they don't get this resolved now? Actually, there should only be one, right? if they don't get this resolved now. So in this case, major cost on tearing down and rebuilding framing because of rotten studs, right? Or maybe we can also add the allergies, right? Allergies and health issues because of molds. So next question is, how do these problems affect the different areas of their lives, right? Again, we talked about the health. How does it affect their health? How does it affect their wealth? And how does it affect their relationships? So these are just examples, okay? I've never had, oh, well, I actually have had leaky pipes once, but again, every situation is different. So how do these problems affect their different areas of their lives? How do these problems affect their health, right? Waking up with headaches, unable to, if I can spell properly, unable to breathe properly in the morning. And how do these problems affect their wealth, right? Maybe they're always late for work because of allergy issues, right? That affects their work. Maybe they're unable to see clients sometimes because they're sick, right? Or the actual cost of repairing the studs and the framing of the house because of the rotten wood. And the third part is, how do these problems affect their relationships? Maybe they cannot host parties at their home because because the floor is always wet, or maybe they're unable to go to gatherings because of allergies, right? So it depending on the problem that you solve, it may or may not affect all three of them, but just spend time and think about it, right? You put yourself in the shoes of the client that are suffering from that problem, and imagine how would it affect the different areas of their lives, right? So the next question is, what emotions are they struggling with each day because of these problems, right? So maybe they're frustrated from being sick all the time. Imagine waking up every day, stuffy nose, headaches, right? That's frustrating. That's an emotion that they struggle with. Or maybe frustration because of money being drained from their bank accounts for all the repairs that they have to do. So think about that. Now, this is where we go deeper, right? And this is, every answer will be different. Think about what is the true cost of not solving these problems soon, right? And this requires a lot more thought on your end, but I encourage you to do this, right? What's the true cost of not solving these problems soon? Or what about in the next 6 months? What about after 1 year? So I want you to use vivid detail and focus on how it affects every area of their lives, right? And then enter your answer in here. And then number 7, now imagine you're the ones having that problem. Describe a day in the life of your client and how, when this problem shows up in their thoughts, their decisions, and their actions. Now we're getting a little more deeper, right? Into the effect of the problem, unsolved problem in their life, right? Now it's affecting their thoughts, it's affecting their decisions, it's affecting their actions. Now we're getting a little bit more deeper. Try to answer that. And number 8, what is the number one reason they are stuck in this pain and cannot solve this problem alone, right? Well, maybe they don't have plumbing skills, right? For the plumbing example, right? Or maybe what are false beliefs, insecurities, or excuses that are holding them back? This requires a lot of thought, right? If you're a service-based service-based business that solves whatever problems, you should know about this. Now, if not, really do a lot of thinking and put yourself in the shoes of your customers. Now, what external forces do they believe contribute to this problem? Right? Do they think who else is at fault? Is it the landlord? Is it the management company? Is it, what is it? Right? By external forces, I mean something other than them that may be causing the problem. Put it here. Right? And it's going to make sense later, trust me. And 10, what have they tried to solve these problems? Right? Have they tried using a dehumidifier? Have they tried blocking the vents so the mold doesn't flow around the house? Right? 11, what has their experience been like with existing solutions? Like what happened? what's the result? What's the experience like after they have, using the problems that they've tried solving themselves, right? Then what do they like about them? What do they dislike about them? Are there any horror stories about that? Okay, so only you can answer this, but we really need to go deep into like the life, how it affects their lives. Okay, and then answer it here. Do they believe existing solutions work? Do they believe in plumbers? Do they have a conscious bias against plumbers? We have to learn about that. If not, why? Okay, why do they not believe existing solutions work? Then you enter your answer here. So once you're proud of your answers, I want you to analyze them and look at it from a different perspective, right? And by that I mean the perspective of the people that you serve, right? So the goal here is to help you see your true worth, okay, and compare it to your pricing, how much you're charging. Is your worth equal to the value that you provide, right? So if you're solving a life-changing problem and you're charging $25 for it, is that equal? Probably not, right? So again, only you can answer this. But again, the goal is to help you see your worth and see where your ceiling is and then shatter it. Okay? So if you're feeling like you've reached your limit, go ahead and do this exercise. I encourage you. Take a few minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it takes, right? Do this exercise. And I guarantee you that there is more, so much more to what you do, right? You may not realize it, but you change other people's lives. As a service-based business, you change other people's lives. We just got to find out what it is, okay? There's a lot of things that people go through by people, our customers, right? There's a lot of things that our customers go through that we are not aware about, okay? I encourage you to audit your abilities and understand that there's a whole lot more to the technical aspects of what you do, right? Look beyond the technology, look beyond the processes, and beyond the day-to-days, and realize the true value of what you do for others. Again, that value should equal your worth at the very least, okay? And if not, we're gonna go ahead and shatter that limit. And remember, people buy on value and not price, right? Just because they're not paying or they're not paying your rates, it's not because of the price, it's because they just don't put enough value to the work that you do, okay? So adjust your pricing accordingly, right? Look at your value, adjust your pricing accordingly, and don't feel guilty about it. So the only people feeling guilty about raising prices are those who have not yet realized their true value. And that's why we're doing this live video, because I want you to realize your true value. And for me, it took me years. It took me years to realize my own value. I had a client years ago who I helped with something that I thought was simple, right? It was a simple thing that I did. And then later, he sent me a message saying, "I'm glad you're in our life," right? And that's over something simple that I did for them. That's when I realized that if I can make someone feel like that over something small, how much more value I can provide if I gave them something bigger. And let me tell you, there's no better feeling in the world than knowing that you've made an impact over someone's life. So again, I encourage you to go over this exercise. And once you honestly answer those 12 questions, go ahead and reflect on them and see if your mindset shifts from "I'm just a plumber" to "I'm someone who changes lives." And realize that your ability to increase your revenue is limitless. So that's it for today. I'll see you in the next week. So there you have it. Um, and I want to give you a homework this weekend, or I mean, it's almost the end of the weekend, but I'd like to encourage you guys to go use the worksheet that I provided. It's on the link. It's a Google Docs, and you just spend a few minutes, or the more time you spend on it, thinking through it, the better you can really get to the bottom of the service that you do for people, and really recognize the value that you provide um, your customers or your clients. So I encourage you, go through the worksheet, and I'd love to hear your comments. Tell me what you think about it, and tell me if there's a mindset shift after going through that exercise. And again, this really has nothing to do, or very little to do, with social proof, but as a business owner as a whole, I think it's there's value, right? There's value in really understanding what we do for our clients. So let me know in the comments if you're watching this live. Type live in the comments, and if you're watching this replay, go ahead and type replay. And again, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear how, if it changed your mindset, and how. Right? I'd love to have potentially, if we can have a discussion around this, that would be great, because we can hash it out even more. Everybody has different experiences. Everybody has, go through different things, different phases in whatever business you do. But ultimately, it's the value. You have to understand how much value you give your customers, and then adjust your pricing accordingly to the kind of value that you deliver. So I hope you enjoy this. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. All right.